Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clueless 8, and this is a end of the day report for October 1st, beginning of the fourth and final quarter of 2015. It's 8:40 p.m. around here in New York, New Jersey, and let me get straight into it. It's been a busy couple of weeks, and in fact, since last week, it has been busier. Through all this exhausting periods in the market, we have pretty successfully managed to navigate all the pitfalls, the sudden drops, the sudden rises, and all the different crazy volatility, what I call structured volatility, that has taken place. A couple of things I want to keep, let you, my observations, let's just put it that way. Number one, we're seeing a complete, total dominance of Algo-Hft programs that are controlling the market literally on a minute by minute, if not by hour basis. So when you get that type of situation, you have to have a trained, keen eye to observe, to spot, quickly analyze, and react to the situation at hand. There is really nothing random in what's going on. What is random is the minute by minute fluctuations, the sell waves, the buy programs, and everything that are happening in the futures world, which is driving the external side of the market, which is stocks. So you get these baskets of you get these sell programs that come in. Right here, for example, this was today. You see these methodical, robotic red candles. You can see that right there, which lasted till about 12 noon. I mentioned clearly that this was part of, in the Periscope broadcast in the morning, that there was a fallout again in Glencore, the world's largest mining company. And a lot of the European selling was getting washed ashore to the US. We'll never know where exactly, which hedge funds or which commodity funds are getting blown up or getting hurt, which institutional force margin sellouts are happening at what firms. It's a global issue. We had oil up very strongly at the open. Futures were up pretty big, right? Futures were up pretty big till about 1 in the morning, and then we started to basically give in. By 9 o'clock, if I see doing this correctly, this was Thursday, 9 o'clock, right there. Big sell program. Now, throughout all this, I've helped navigate and hopefully made a lot of traders, a good bunch of my Clueless members, a decent sum of money. I certainly had a reasonably good day. I wasn't playing big, but I did a bunch of the tactical SPX trades, which generated anywhere from $3 to $4 to $9 per trade. They're terrific money making. Not easy, but they're terrific money making trades intraday, which you can pack and bank the cash. We also had winners in Amazon, Netflix, and like I said, in a volatile market, you do not need to go out there and buy all kinds of stuff. You got to be selective. And I try my best in identifying the stocks which basically have the strongest RSI or relative strength on that particular day. Not always easy to do, because like we saw, when that sell wave came, they took stocks up $6-7 in the case of Amazon, for example, and all the others, and then took it down $3. It's a $9 swing, and then it's up $9 or $8 by the end of the day. So every day is a learning experience. I want people to understand that. And if you're not learning from what this new normal, which is machine controlled volatility, and how to deal with it, then you're doing yourself a disfavor, big time. You don't necessarily need to trade every day, or you can trade small. Buy one contract, buy 10 shares, if you want to. But you got to test it out, because that's the only way that you're going to learn how to trade these markets and invest in these markets. What was the reason for a stock like Amazon, picking an example, to drop, what's today? Thursday? So let me do Thursday. This is from Monday, right? Stock was at 542. The big Glencore sell-off, the big sell-off in the market. This was today, 10:45. Stock's at 519, almost hitting 520. I had very precise charts on that. And that reminds me, every one of you need to scroll through at the end of the day, if you can't do it during the day, spend a few minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes, going over every single one of my Twitter posts, trade alerts, Periscope broadcasts, and anything I put out there. Because this trading in the markets is like a soap opera, right? You got to know who the actors are, and you got to know the storyline. And then everything kind of falls into place and starts making sense. It's very important to do that. And I'm not kidding. Believe me, it's going to help you. So there's no reason why a stock goes from 520 all the way down to 509 and then rises all the way up to 521. It's just the way the markets are being controlled by these Algo-Hft machines that are selling baskets of futures. In this case, in the case of Amazon, it's NASDAQ futures and Qs. And it's just the way it goes. So get it out of your head like, oh, is there something wrong with this stock? Why is it down this? And yeah, sure, there's fundamental news that drives things. There was positive news in Amazon. That's the reason why the stock was up 9. Not just that. Technically, it was going that way. There are enough charts I posted out there for people to see. So what I want people to learn, every day try to learn one thing. One of the things you got to learn is that you can't just sit there and make some normal, rational thought process. Oh, this is going down because of this. It's simply a function, to be honest with you. It's simply a function of the machines day trading each other. That's really what it is. So please start getting used to that idea. Now, saying all that, it doesn't mean you can't hold swings, and it doesn't mean that you can hold long-term positions. But what it does mean is that you want to minimize the size of your trades, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. It doesn't matter what the chart looks like at the end of the day anymore, because what happens in the wee hours of the morning, starting from the Japanese markets opening around 9 or 10 p.m. to the European markets opening at 4 p.m. You know what? The world can change. Now, throughout all that, you got to use some basic, and I'm just covering a lot of basics here. Okay, you got to use some basic functions like reading the stochastics, reading the internals, stuff that I teach in detail and extensively and very beneficially to my coaching session members that all of you should need to sign up. The group coaching sessions, they're great. The next one, by the way, is Sunday 7 p.m. Not Saturday, Sunday 7 p.m. And of course, I'll go ahead and tweet that out and notify people. So the bottom line is that you got to be flexible in this market. There will be a time we can hold swings for days in a row, but I don't think this is the time. This is a uber volatile market, and I think there will be some sense of some normality after the second part of August, or maybe in November. But for now, I can assure you that the global macro currents that are driving the markets are beyond our control. So if you're looking to hold a large overweight position on calls and puts overnight, and you're not hedged, then rest assured you cannot expect to wake up with a smiley face in the morning, whether you're long or short. So just got to manage your trades the way it is. I know not everyone can trade during the day and put the money away because they're doing things and all that. So in that case, you gotta really study the charts and say, okay, I'm not going to blink at every time I see my P&L going down. When I'm looking at it once or twice during the day, I believe that this is the way the charts are, and this is the way Clueless 8 are showing things. Well, I'm going to just go that way. There is a large element of risk because we don't know what's going to happen in October. I can show you different scenarios, but exactly which scenario is going to play out, I don't know. But because I explained both scenarios, the bull and the bear, you're prepared. You don't wake up, most people that they've said, man, I used to be so scared of these things and now I can actually know how to handle it. I've heard that a zillion times from members and it makes me feel good. Great. Conquer your fear and act strategically. Otherwise, this market will completely decimate you. So let's take a look at the market in the form of the SPYs. I'm going to go on a daily here. And this is what we're seeing. Let me get all these lines out. So this was the infamous crash, right? And remove all drawings. And if you look at it in this geometric fashion, it just looks so easy to read, right? It just looks like, wow, the market is creating a very nice, this is, it came, it never really got to that bottom here. And now it's moving up. So it's going to go up here to 2000. It's going to hit a resistance and then we're going to fall. Well, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, I can draw it. I can say like the pattern symmetry will repeat and we're going to hit the 50-day moving average that appear at 200 on the SPYs, roughly about 2000 on the S&P, all that stuff. But you know what? Let me give you the reality. The reality is this reversal candle, which is certainly positive, and the stochastics are certainly showing that we're moving higher, can very easily, and I have to warn people, excuse me, very easily turn like this and come down and create a double bottom or a triple bottom. It can happen. And that's what I prepare people for. That's what I guide them during the day, and very successfully so. So bottom line is that hopefully my mic's on today, right? Yeah, it is. I do apologize for the last video cast where the mic was accidentally off for whatever reason. Anyway, so at this point, I'm looking things close to the vest. I believe that the first 5 days of October, which generally happens, 5 business days, is when the pension fund money and all these institutional money are placed into the market. They make their bets. Should be a good one. Should be a good one. Doesn't mean we can't have intraday 200-point drops like we did today. Right? Exactly. We could have a mechanical sell program hitting us from Germany, which can take us down a good portion of the day and then do whatever it needs to do. Today was a prime example. Learn from it. So the point is, now 194 is doable. And I've shown some very, very specific charts on the SPYs and the SPXs on my Twitter feed. And I suggest that you review them because I'm not going to repeat them here. So there is a minor gap here around 198, all kinds of good stuff. But let me show you the other scenario. We fall rapidly. We test 187.69 right here. Is it possible that we can quickly drop down to 1820 and really create a true double bottom? Yes, it is. Is there a time frame? It can happen in 5 hours. It can happen in 5 hours. So basically what is that Siri all of a sudden started talking on my iPhone. I'll tell you, these machines are too much, right? I'm like, who's talking to me? And there was this on my, trading desk, and it was just sitting there. Anyway, the bottom line is that's a possibility too. So I have 2 minutes for this video cast. So the bottom line is that this is certainly looking positive for now. I think we end the week on a positive note after a mini dip in the morning. Any major dip in the morning, I believe, needs to be bought. That's tomorrow. Okay, and all kinds of scenarios can happen. Right now, we're in a positive bend. Looking at the hourly chart, same old story. We are getting overbought. The good old overbought. See that? And I'm a pretty good master of trading these stochastics. So what do you think might happen tomorrow? Tomorrow's this is Friday to Friday. This is for last Friday. So here's a quick I literally have a few seconds. We come down, we test the 191 level. Hopefully we don't break 190, and then we move from here. If we break 190, then all hell breaks loose, okay? Then this comes into play. Otherwise, we create this, and we make a move up here, and that's what I'll be looking for tomorrow. So, follow my stuff. We're doing great. Keep your trade small, and small gets large. Look at the SPX calls and the puts. The calls went from 10, 11 to 24. I was out a bit earlier. So what? Did that 3 times.